Okay, so the next problem we're gonna do is, oh shoot, I forgot which problems. Um, 6 and 12. So we're gonna do this table right here. It says fill in table Adam's table with all the arrangements for the fence. The first one is done for you, but you have to read this context. So it's basically saying Adam and his brother are responsible for feeding their horses. In the spring, the horses graze in an unfed pasture. The brothers have erected a portable fence to corral the horses in the grazing area. Each day, the horse eats all of the grass inside the fence. Then the boys move the fence to a new area where the grass is long and green. The brothers have always arranged the fence in a long rectangle that's 10 by 70. So 10 by 70, right? Adam has learned in his math class that a rectangle can have the same perimeter, but different areas. That's what you all learned. He is beginning to wonder if he can make his job easier by rearranging the fence so that the horses have a bigger grazing area. Bigger grazing area, right? You guys have already learned the biggest grazing area is if they can make a circle, but he's not going to go with the circle. He's keeping it as a rectangle. And so he begins by making a table value. He lists the rectangles with a perimeter of 160 square feet or feet. He realizes that a rectangle that is oriented horizontally will cover a different section of grass than the one that is arranged vertically. So he's considering these two different rectangles on his table. Okay. So here, when we're filling this out, just like you guys were doing it earlier, you're finding all the different combinations, and you did this in the earlier in the this lesson. What they're really asking you for is all the different rectangles that he can make. So if the perimeter is 160, earlier you guys said, oh, if it's a rectangle, then I'm going to take half of 160, right? And then I'm going to make it so that it has a perimeter of that. So if you changed it from 10 to 20, how would the width now change? How would the width now change? Give me a second. Okay, so the idea from before, you were thinking about, okay, well, if I have 160 as the perimeter, and then like, with my great drawing of a rectangle, right? So if the whole thing around is 160, you guys figured out from the last time that really the length and the width only take up half of that 160. So in this case, it's going to be 80, right? And that has to do with your P equals to 2L plus 2W kind of deal. So if 160 equals 2L plus 2W, that also means that I could just look at L plus W is our 80, right? Just dividing the whole equation by 2. Okay. So that means that all of these numbers here, Miss Johnson, they're just going to add up to 80. Yeah. Like 10 plus 70, Miss Johnson. Yes. Like 20 plus what? So in the chat, if you can tell me 10 plus what, 20, my bad. 20 plus what would give me my 80? 20, yes, sir. 20 plus 60 feet. Now I'm going to be a little stickler here. If you just wrote 60, I'm not going to ever mark you wrong on your quizzes or your tests, but I do want to point to, I need you to be precise whenever you're working out there in the land called the world. And the reason why I want you to be specific is because if you go to Home Depot and you're like, I need 60. No, I need 60. And then like, it's like 60 what? Like 60 hamburgers, 60 people, 60 feet, 60 yards, right? It's a very different 60. So just this is what I found. The more you are precise here with your units, you'll catch yourself doing things wrong before you submit an answer. So yes, 60 hamburgers. I know, me too. Not really, not 60 hamburgers. Like over my life, I don't know, whatever. Okay. You just made me laugh. All right. So 30 feet plus what is going to give me my 80? So in the chat, tell me 30 feet plus how much? I need to see more of my humans here. 30 plus what? What is that going to be? 30. Very good. 30 feet exactly. Thank you for sharing. And then I'm just going to continue this all the way down. It's going to be 40 plus 40. It's going to be 50 plus 30. It's going to be 60 plus 20 and 70 plus 10. Okay, then they wanted you to find the area. Then they wanted you to find the area. So when you're looking for the area of a rectangle, that's a different calculation, right? Area equals length times width. So Ms. Johnson, you just want me to multiply these? Uh-huh. So 20 times 60, that's 1,200 square feet. Don't forget this little squared right here, right? If you're wondering what a square foot looks like, if you ever have seen tiles in a bathroom, that's what a square foot kind of looks like to me, right? Kind of like the bigger tiles. And just imagine I'm covering this whole thing with with square foot tiles, right? And in this case, it's actually grass because, the horses are going to eat the grass, not the square tiles. So just think square tiles of grass. Okay, and then I'm just going to continue all the way down here. So this is going to be 1,500 square feet. This is going to be 1,600 square feet. Feet squared is also allowed, like you can say that too. And then I can continue. So this is 1,500 square feet. And then the next one is going to be 1,200 square feet. And 700 square feet. So one of the things that I think is interesting, if you notice, right, is you're using the same amount of fence and you're getting a very different area of grass, right? You're using a different amount of fencing for a different area or amount of area. And that's like, I don't know, for me as a math nerd, it's really cool that you can use the same amount of fence and you can get very different shapes, like largely different. Like look at the difference between this one, yes ma'am, and this one, right? They're very different, right? And this is almost like twice that, but it's the same amount of fence. Crazy, right? Okay, moving right along. Someone said number 11. So write an equation to find the area for a rectangle with a side length of 25 feet. And then write another equation to find the area of a rectangle with side length 65. Solve and find the areas to go along with this. This is still the same, context up here. So they're saying now, how would you find it if I continued this chart and put 15 right here? How would you find the area, right? Excuse me. So if I was to do this, and I am going to do it, if the length is 25 feet, what would the width be? So I'm pretending that I'm filling out that chart again. So if the length was 25 feet, how did I figure out the width of it? What did I have to do? All right, I'm going to drink water. Anybody remember? How do I how do I find the width? If I know the length, like up here, if I knew the length, 70 feet, how did I find the width? What did I do? Yeah, I'm going to add to get to that 80. Very good. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, 80. So this is really going to be 80 minus 25, which in this case is 55, right? And then it said, find the area. Oh, okay. So you just want me to multiply? Yes, I just wanted me to multiply. So the area is going to be 25 times 55. And whatever that is, I don't know what that is. Let me pull out my calculator. 25 times 55. I don't know why this is the largest. 1,375 feet squared. So this is equal to 1,375 feet squared. And I forgot feet here. So let's put that there. So that's how you do that. And then you continue and you do the next one, which is 65. So here's the next little line, right? 65. So what would that be? If the length is 65, what would the width be? If the length is 65, what would the width be? If the length is 65 feet, what would the width be? Anybody? Come on, y'all. What would you do? Yes, very good. Very, very good. Actually, 15. It would be 15. Right? It would be 15 because 85 minus 65 is 15, right? So then I'm just multiplying those two. 65 times 15 would be my handy dandy calculator right here. Oh no, what happened? 65 times 15 is 975. So there you go. All right, we'll pause this.